Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Locksmith TV podcast. This is episode number 9, and I'm back here with Zach and Andrew. Today, we're going to go over last week's recap, which we went 3-1 once again on NFL Sunday. So now the last 4 podcasts for football Sundays, we are 13-3, up 22.5 units. It's pretty insane. That's probably why you're back here to look at the locks today. And then if you want to count the last 5 podcasts total, we did an NHL podcast, which we swept, went 3-0. So you can add another 3.5 units to that. That's up 26 units the past 5 podcasts. You want to count NFL Sundays and hockey. Bang. And today we're going to give you some hockey locks as well, the premium picks with tennis too. And then, we're going to get into tonight's game, the Broncos Saints, give you our little teaser, and Zach will toss you a prop that'll cash for you. Then we're going to move into the good old hot NFL Sunday locks. Lock you in there. Hopefully we can sweep, go 4-0 instead of 3-1. And so let's get into it, fellas.
Yes, sir. Zach, you want to rip the 3-star of the NHL real quick?
Yeah, so our 3-star tonight is going to be Stars money line at minus 145 in Washington. So Stars are coming off 4-0 start. They're coming off a win that they just got at home in a shootout over the Sharks, which is a bit of a better win than people think. The Sharks have a bit of a better team than what people are expecting. I think just because of what they saw last year from San Jose, they think they're a pretty bad team. But they've made a lot of good free agent acquisitions. They had the number 1 pick in the draft, and the Stars were able to combat a young team at home. The Capitals are also coming off a massive win at home against the Golden Knights. I can't see a team like Washington, who isn't the most solid, beating 2 of the West top teams in back-to-back games. So in this one, the Stars, who've just been rolling, are going to have 3 very heavy lines. I think the big line that you're really going to see go off tonight is the line of Mason Marchment and Logan Stankoven. Those 2 have just been so solid together the first 4 games of the season. Marchment out here with 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists. Stankoven's already got 5 assists, and he's just going to keep climbing. I think he's going to be one of the most underrated players in the league this year, just because of the ability and the offense that he's playing with. And I think the Stars at a minus 140 is just insane value for how good they've been so far this season. And he doesn't even mean to mention where the goalies are at. If I got Jake Ottinger in that, that's done. That's done. Give me Jake Ottinger any day of the week, and I love it. So minus 140, Stars a 3-star. We're locking that one in.
Love
I
that.
love that.
Absolute powerhouse of a team, too. They just get it done.
You can lock in that the Stars will be in the playoffs, and the Capitals probably won't either. But anyways, Andrew, you
Yeah.
can lock in that 2-star for him.
Yeah, so 2-star, little plus for you. It's going to be the Sharks money line plus 160. They're facing the Blackhawks in Chicago. So, and yeah, plus 160. So Chicago is coming back from a 4-game West Coast road trip, and that's the first one of the season. Usually the first couple road trips, you come back home, you lose that first game. So there's incredible value here with the Sharks plus 160. Yeah, it's the Sharks, but they got 100 times more competitive than they were last year. Adding some solid pieces like Tyler Toffoli, Klim Kostin from Edmonton, Cody Ceci from Edmonton, Barclay Goodrow from the Rangers. Ceci's solid defenseman, had a positive plus minus the last 5 years, I'm pretty sure. And Sharks also had some early draft picks from being so bad the past couple of years. So they
Young
picked up
studs.
Max Celebrini last year, and then 2 years ago it was Will Smith. I think it
Will
was
Smith
4.
from
Yeah,
BC.
yeah, exactly.
Stud.
So those 2 are very good. Will Smith is very, very good. He was literally on the best line in college hockey. Was it 2 years ago?
Ever.
Was that 2 years ago or my
It was
buck?
last year. Ryan Leonard, was it Gauthier and Smith, I believe.
And
I think
Smith,
that
yeah.
was right. I know it was Ryan Leonard, Willie Smith, and I think it was I don't know who the other one is. Doesn't matter though. Stud. Will
Arguably
Smith
the best
stud.
line in college hockey. Like,
Ever.
yeah, like that's just ridiculous. So Sharks, they've loaded up with young talent, so they're chilling. You look on Chicago side, young talent, all you really see is Bedard. Everyone else, 95 and older. Like it's just how it is. They're just old. You got Craig Smith, 35, Foligno, 36, Hall, 32, Maroon, 36, fucking TJ Brody, old as hell. Alec Martinez, 37. Like all these guys are out of their prime. Like Blackhawks will be solid, but they'll beat the teams that are good this year. Like they'll be competitive with good teams, and against these crappier teams, like they're going to let it slide a little bit. Like they're going to let it slip away from them. And this is where I think the Sharks can take advantage of them coming back from a road trip, plus 160. Lock that in.
Some juice right there, kid. Plus 160 against the
Absolutely.
Hawks? Come
Yeah.
on now.
Come on.
Zach, I know you got one more NHL lock.
Yeah, so this is going to be an over in this one. We got the over of 5.5 at a minus 150 in the Predators and Oilers game tonight. This one, you're going to look at on paper and say, oh, we got two of the West powerhouses in this one. However, you take a look at the standings, and these two teams are in the basement right now. You got two very good, very high-powered teams that are 0-3 and 1-3. The Predators in their home games so far this season have lost 4-3 and 7-3. So they're giving up goals, but they're scoring. They're scoring 3 goals a game, which is good to see. And on top of that as well, what you're also seeing with the Oilers is that the Oilers are also scoring. They're scoring a lot of goals, mainly. Well, first 3 games, not so much. Last game, they scored 4, but they also give up a lot of goals. So because the Oilers score a lot and they also give up a lot of goals, the Preds have been scoring a lot. They give up a lot of goals. 5.5 is not a lot. It's not a lot at all.
No.
So minus 150 for a 2-star here, just like with the Stars, I think is great value, and I love it.
Yeah,
So I
that could hit in
think
this
with
first
that
period.
thinking, yeah, I mean, we almost had our over hit last night. We had Sabres Penguins. It was 3-1 in the first period.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
5.5 is
High
not a
scoring
lot.
game.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, there's your NHL locks. Go get those in, fellas. That starts tonight.
That's
And then I'll
sweet.
lock in with one tennis pick for today. Tennis, not much to choose from today. This is going to be a late night match once again. This is 1 a.m. So this is like hours away. We got just a 2-star, only one play. 2-star, Babit Zukayev plus 4.5, minus 135 versus Karen Kachanov. Kachanov is ranked 26th in the world, while Zukayev is ranked 213th in the world. Good thing is tennis rankings don't mean anything. Unless you're top 10, then maybe you have something. Last time they played, which was on the same surface, Kachanov hardly beat him. I think by 2. So come on, plus 4.5. Currently, Kachanov has been playing pretty solid. I wouldn't say he's been playing exceptional. And Zukayev has been playing some of the best tennis, if not the best tennis he's played his whole career. So to be able to lose 6-4, 6-4, or 7-5, 6-4, I like the plus 4.5 at a minus 135. Lock that in. And then so now we'll move on to good old football. Thursday night's game, the Broncos versus Saints. We got a little teaser and a prop. Andrew, give
Sure
him the
do.
tease.
Little teaser. Just a little sun slight. We're going with Broncos plus 7 and under 44.5. That line's a minus 165. You might be seeing a lot of minus 165s from us from the teasers. That's like the comfortable line that we like to take. We like to try to find the minus 165 and go from there. But yeah, Broncos playing the Saints. Saints are riddled with injury. There's just injuries all over the place. Like they actually have zero offense this game. So I think the Broncos can they're easily going to win the game. Like it might not be by a lot. I just really think it's gonna be so low scoring. I think both defenses are gonna come out and just pound the ball. Just no one's gonna be able to move the ball at all. Like even without Surtain, Broncos defense will still be extremely solid. They get to the QB very fast. They have great edge rushers and linebackers like Cooper and Bonito. Their DNs are crazy. Zach Allen, those 3 guys have a combined 12 sacks together. And then you got on the Saints, you got a rookie QB, Spencer Rattler. It's like Buddy's gonna get rattled. Like he got sacked 5 times last week. So he's still learning how to adapt to the NFL. So I think it's gonna be low scoring, under 44.5. Broncos are gonna win the game, but take the plus 7, lock that in,
Play
minus
it safe.
165.
I love it. I love it. Minus 165. Lock it in. You got no Shaheed. You got no
Mhm.
Olave. Who's the offense on the Saints? Just
Who?
Kamara?
Who?
Like, come on. Ain't going to happen. You
Ain't
know they're
that?
going to game plan against Kamara. They got to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Kamara ain't going to be the beast of the night. He has to be for the Saints. It's just not going to. You can only do so much when the defense is planning specifically against you. But, Zach, I know you got a prop for tonight. Get him going.
Yeah. So for this, we're sticking with the Broncos defense. We're going Jonathan Cooper to record a sack at plus 120, which I especially love. So, I mean, for me personally, the reason why I like that so much is just because of the fact that like Andrew just said, Saints defense or Saints offensive line gave up 5 sacks last week. That is way too much for a Broncos defense that is arguably a top 5 defense in the NFL. And that Broncos defense is going to be all over Spencer Rattler tonight. They're also going to have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? They are going to have a lot of intensity because they're going to want to win this game for Sean Payton. Sean Payton's homecoming back to New Orleans. It's a lot bigger than people think. And as Angelo mentioned as well, the entire Saints offense is out. Because the entire Saints offense is out, you're going to have no Taysom Hill, no Olave, no Shaheed, no Derek Carr. I might have to suit up tonight. There's no one on that team.
Sounds
That's how
good.
bad. That's how bad they are offensively. So, like we said, I mean, Denver doesn't score a lot, so it's really tough to kind of pick. Like this game sucks. I'm just going to be honest. Trying to pick something in this game sucks. So,
Yeah.
I think going with Jonathan Cooper plus 120 to record a sack, and he can get half a sacks. We can get 2 half sacks to record one. That's not bad. And you're getting it at a plus. So I would say that's probably the best prop that we got tonight. So we're locking
Defense
that in.
heavy.
Another plus. Yeah, the defense heavy. A lot of pluses on the
It's a
board today, by
defensive
the way.
game.
So
The defensive game.
yeah,
Well, we love our pluses. If you
yeah,
watch us, you know we love our pluses. That's
We
simple.
smack
And
them.
by the way, Zach, please don't suit up because then we have to change our teaser to the Saints instead of
oh
the Broncos.
geez,
So
yeah.
don't suit
Might
up so we
have
can
to.
keep that teaser. We want it to cash. But anyways, bang on the NFL Sunday 13-3 plus 22.5 units. Let's get it going, boys. Andy, kick them off with a 3-star, the lock of the day.
Yeah, well, first I'm gonna do the recap of last week. I had the Jags, sadly. Got
Oh, quick recap. Yeah.
they got fucked in London. They couldn't find anything going. Their defense was just getting mauled out there. They made Caleb Williams look pretty good, even though they only called 2 penalties on those Bears, but they called 8 penalties on the Jags. But hey, it's whatever. We'll take the losses on the chin. It's fine. But I'll give you a little 3-star. Yeah, we'll call it 3-star. It's a lock right here. 49ers money line against the Chiefs. How are you?
That's
Minus
like a minus.
120. Yeah, like what? Minus 120? Like, who are they facing? What? A 5-0 team? Get them out of here. A little weird line, but we're gonna persevere for this one. Chiefs being a slight underdog is very weird, especially like they're 5-0. Their first 3 games weren't even like legit wins. Like they straight up had help from the refs and shit. Like I start with the that Ravens game. There was a touchdown that got called back with 4 seconds left. That changes the outcome of the game. It would have went to overtime. Then they had the Bengals game. That I think, yeah, that Bengals game with that PI, that pass interference, BS, dude. Where I think it was Rashee Rice went up for a catch. Bengals guy comes up from behind him and like tries to moss him. Ball was, I mean, a mile over Rice's head, like a mile, and they call it PI. It's like, bro, changes the outcome of the game. And then I think there was one
It was
other
Pats.
game.
It was Pats, Ravens, Bengals. PI on Bengals. Ravens missed it by a centimeter. Isaiah Likely almost scored. Then Pats toe tapped in the back of the end zone. They said no catch. So bang, 3 right there.
Yeah, it's just absolute robbery. But yeah, Chiefs 5-0 just makes too much sense for the entire public to bet on them. And
As a
the
plus.
49, yeah, exactly, at a plus. And the 49ers being 3-3 and not looking that great. Like they only beat they lost the Cardinals by 1. So it's like, I mean, that's a weird line. Like the 49ers should be slightly the underdog. It would make more sense, but they're trying to get more money on those Chiefs.
Yeah.
And everyone and their mother's gonna be betting on Taylor Swift and the Chiefs tonight. Like that's just how it is. That's just
Yeah.
how that goes.
I mean, yeah, if you look at this game, obviously they've set this up for weeks for everyone to bet on the Chiefs. And then, of course, Niners are the favorite. But don't also sleep on the Niners. They have the second most points per game as an offense either. So,
Yeah,
like,
and Chiefs defense past 2 weeks have been looking good, especially against the Saints. Like they only let up 13 points. And now you're gonna see a little Super Bowl recap. It's like,
bang.
hmm,
Yeah,
that changes
Niners
up.
money line, 3-star,
Yeah.
minus 120. Lock that in. Zach, go over your quick recap last week and then your pick for Sunday.
Yeah. So I mean, our for my pick last week went about as good as possible. I mean, Steelers minus 2.5. They went into Oakland and they absolutely dominated that game. I mean, not only were they able to put up points, but the defense looked good. Had a blocked punt in that game. Had multiple fumble recoveries in that game, and that couldn't have gone any better. The public was all over it, but I was directing the public out there, so we were cashing all day. So nothing wrong with that. But as we go into my pick for this Sunday, We're going Commanders -7 at a -130 against the Panthers at home. Commanders have been a surprising team this year, but those guys can score. And they're coming off a loss last week against a really good Baltimore team, and they're going to want to bounce back. And what a better way to bounce back than against the NFL's worst possible team, the Carolina Panthers. So not bad in this one. I would say the big advantage for the Commanders is that the Panthers defense is horrible. Panthers defense has given up right around, I believe they said around about 27 points a game pretty much. They can't stop anyone. And they're only putting up about 14 or so points per game. They're really struggling. Andy Dalton's really changed the offense, but it doesn't make up for Bryce Young's first couple starts. And as the season's gone on, that Commanders defense has improved immensely. And I would say with what you're going to see Sunday, I think you could easily see a 35-14 kind of game in this Panthers game. So I would say lock in the Commanders -7. Hopefully we don't get a push, but we're going for that easy money.
Love it.
Kid,
Love it, kid.
real quick. Falcons, that's who it was against. That third game. Falcons had 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 on their last drive, down 5, and it made the Chiefs win. It's just 49ers money line. It's just simple. Like
Let's lock it
three
in,
BS
fellas.
calls. 3 BS calls.
So anyways, now I'll go over a quick recap of the props last week. Had a 3-star on the Ravens. Zay Flowers, 50+ receiving yards, -150. Forget about that when he had 9 catches, 132 yards. I think he was a leading receiver on the week. Pretty easy stuff. He had over 100 at halftime. Cakewalk. Then we had 2-star Detroit Lions, Jameson Williams, 40+ receiving yards at a -160. Cash out as well. I told you he only needs 2 catches to cash it. He got 3 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Also had a touchdown called back, so he could have had 4 catches for 2 touchdowns and however many yards. Doesn't matter. Cashed it. So, we're scoping out these props pretty easily, fellas. And we scoped out a couple more for this Sunday. So I got for a little 3-star. Once again, not Jameson now. These were tough. These props, both of them are receptions. It was tough to choose between receptions and yards. I think they both hit for these guys, though. But like I said, 3-star Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7+ receptions, -140 versus the Vikings. Amon-Ra is obviously the clear-cut wide receiver 1 of the Lions. No debate. Never been a debate. This game is one of the highest over-unders of the week at 51 points, so the QB should be slinging it even if Zach steps into play, okay? Last year, Amon-Ra's 2 games versus the Vikings averaged 9.5 receptions for 125 yards. Like 2 of his top 3 or 4 games of last season were versus the Vikings. So clearly they got something versus the Vikings. Him and Goff, they got something. Simple as that. He's only hit 7+ receptions twice this year, but you can lock in he's doing it for a 3rd time this week. So go get that bet in. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7+ receptions, -140. Then for a little 2-star on the Houston Texans, we got Tank Dell, 5+ receptions, -140 versus the Packers. Why? Nico Collins, the Texans wide receiver 1, is out. Alexander, who's could argue the best cornerback in the league, plays for the Packers. He'll probably be on Stephon Diggs most of the game, okay? That's going to leave Tank open. When Tank was the wide receiver 2 on the team before he got hurt last year, he averaged 6.25 catches per game and had 10.75 targets per game. Tank and CJ Stroud, they're boys. They got drafted the same year. If you look at any of their socials, they're always together like they're boys. They're like this. Tank had 7 catches and 9 targets last week while he was the wide receiver 2 since Nico Collins was out. So I expect the same thing this week. So lock that in. Tank Dell, 5+ receptions, -140. And I believe that wraps up for NFL Sunday. You guys got anything else?
No, like, comment, subscribe. Show the boys a little
Pretty
love.
simple. Check us out on Instagram or Threads, or obviously this is our YouTube at LocksOTD. Everything we have is at LocksOTD. Pretty simple. Locks of the day. But anyways, thank you for tuning in for podcast number 9, and we'll be back next Thursday for number 10. Peace.